SmackDown took place tonight from the Performance Center. This continues to build to Backlash, and it was headlined with the Women's Tag Team Championship main event with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defending their Women's Tag Team titles against Bayley and Sasha Banks. And this was after Sasha Banks defeated Alexa Bliss in a singles match last week. This is what set up this match, and pretty noteworthy show, especially a show with no crowd. So you have Jeff Hardy come out, and I'm sorry, I don't care much. I like Jeff, but I don't know, I'm just not that into it. I hate how they did this thing with Sheamus. I don't understand how they cannot just build us up over like 2-3 months. Everyone knows it's going to be Sheamus, and we don't know for sure. I love those mystery attacker angles. We never get to see any of them. Those used to be really cool angles. I remember one time when I did the thing with Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and of course, we ever knew it was going to be Triple H. It was cool how they revealed it at the end. Here, it's just, it's over. We already know. So Jeff comes in the ring, and he knows it's Sheamus. It's the guy with the red hair. Drove into him, who actually drove into Elias, and then threw him, and he framed it on him. So, and he is unhappy, and he gives his version of events. And he noted that he passed every sobriety test at the police station. A witness showed up and revealed to him that he saw a person with red hair run out of the car, and Hardy pointed out Sheamus. Sheamus comes out. He says Hardy's in denial and can't accept responsibility for his actions. He demanded Hardy be a man to admit he did it. Sheamus said Hardy's going to have to worry about letting his wife and daughter down because they're used to it. Hardy attacked Sheamus, and they brawled on the stage. Sheamus took over, beat down Hardy. He threw Jeff Hardy into the barricade at the ringside, and then they had a cool fight here. I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. I guess it sets up their match. I'm not that high looking forward to it too much, to be honest. It's okay. I'm not super stoked about it. Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. Jeff's good, but at his age, and Sheamus, I can't get anything excited with Sheamus. If Jeff was facing someone else, I'd be excited. Not much at Sheamus. Whatever. It was a decent opening segment, I guess. In the back, we see Otis and Mandy Rose. They passed a chair with King Corbin's crown. Otis took the crown. Rose is impressed. And then I have Otis taking on Baron Corbin, and Corbin's furious because his crown's gone. Not much to this match. I'm sorry. Otis is very average. Not a huge fan anymore. I think he peaked. I think the whole thing with Mandy really was good in earlier this year, and it peaked at WrestleMania. And they blew it off too quickly at WrestleMania because they needed a good feel-good moment for Mania. But I wonder how this thing would have played out if everything was Tampa. I sometimes think what WrestleMania would have been like this year if it was in Tampa. I think things would have been a lot different. But it was not much of a match. Corbin uses a chair for a DQ. Otis absorbed, but he makes another comeback, and he hits the Caterpillar. And on Corbin, he gets the better of him. So hopefully they stop pushing Baron Corbin. Miz and Joe Morrison are sitting in a white van and with spy equipment. They're basically going to mock Braun Strowman for the whole night. They talk about annoying co-workers. They know some people might say that they're about to... that it's senseless and idiotic, and they want to make Strowman's life a living hell before Backlash. They watch Strowman put water in his bottle, so it's like a protein drink, and suddenly his protein shake exploded and went everywhere, and Miz and Morrison laughed and mocked Strowman. This is funny. It's basically a comedy segment. They've done comedy stuff to title matches before, so I'm not too angry, but I thought that was funny. This situation, who cares? Caleb Braxton tries to interview Shorty G, but Mojo interrupts, and then you have Cesaro and Nakamura there, and they beat down Shorty G until New Day makes the save. Lacey Evans makes her way to the ring, but Sonya Deville jumps her, and that's the match. They have a match. It's basically very average. Both of them aren't very good, to be honest. Sonya's improved a lot. She's great on the mic. She's not that good in the ring still. Lacey's average in the ring, I think. They're just not bad. I mean, they're better than what the Divas division was and stuff, but women like this, they're just okay, I guess. It was fine. They go to commercial, and so Sonya Deville takes control for a while. And then finally, Mandy Rose appears on the screen. She mocks Sonya Deville. She calls her a failure. Sonya Deville turns around. She's screaming at Mandy. Then she turns, and she gets hit with the woman's right by Lacey Evans for the win. Lacey beats Sonya. Cole and Graves announced Shorty G and Sheamus versus Cesaro, Nakamura, and Mojo in a 6-man tag later. So back to the match. Earlier, Lacey gets the win, and Sonya and Mandy continue to feud. I would love to see that girl storyline, but it's too late now. They can't do that now. Kayla interviews Braun Strowman in the back, and this is prank number 2. They're watching from the van. They press the button, and green slime falls on Kayla Braxton. It's basically the movie Carrie. Remember, pig's blood falls on Carrie? This time, just like green slime falls all over her. It's gross. And Strowman, it gets on Strowman. It gets on his beard and on his shoes. And Miz and Morrison are yelling, and at least they mocked it. They got onto Strowman. Strowman knows where they are, and he goes after them. They have Renee Young in the ring. She introduced Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. She does good here. And they said they have different worldviews. I wonder what that is. Daniel Bryan's so obsessed with AJ's political views. It's funny, I heard him on Talking Smack because they think differently. Oh my god. They might vote differently. Oh, I wonder Daniel Bryan probably is a liberal. AJ Styles is obviously a conservative. Oh my god. Anyway, they had a good promo. Drew Gulak faces AJ. They had Drew Gulak beat AJ Styles, which is a shock here. Gulak got the win. He hit his Michinoku driver. It was a close fall. Then he rolls him up for a surprise win. So I don't understand why they have Drew Gulak beat AJ Styles. It makes no sense. My only guess is Daniel Bryan wins, and maybe Drew Gulak's going to finally beat Daniel Bryan if they do that storyline. In the parking lot, Miz and Morrison approach Strowman's car, and they destroy his car with a golf club and a baseball bat. They laugh at it, and they can't wait to see his reaction, so they destroy his black car. I thought Strowman would have a better card than that. Shorty G and New Day beat Cesaro, Nakamura, and Mojo. I'm sorry, I don't care about this match. I don't want to face his win, whatever. In the parking lot, Braun Strowman discovered his car. He freaks out. He's so angry, and he goes to the security guard. Where are they? Miz and Morrison were mocking him from inside the van, and Strowman gets tired. He goes after a guy, and this guy's freaking out. And then finally, he tells them they are in the van, and Strowman goes after the van, and they can see Miz and Morrison in the van. They freak out, and they see him on the camera, like, oh no, and they mock him. He can't get us in here. Strowman can't get in the van. He bumps it, and we know what's going to happen here. He starts shaking it, and they freak out. They start to freak out. He's angry, and then he looks into the camera, and he picks it up, and he tips it over just like he's done a million times. The Strowman flipping cars and ambulances and production trucks, limousines. What hasn't he flipped? He's flipped everything. He's flipped fucking every single type of vehicle they've had Strowman flip. It's kind of old now. It is, but hey, it's still entertaining for a bit. He flips their van. They get thrown out of the van. They're in the van and they get stuck in there. So Strowman tips everything over and sets up the handicap match at Backlash. I thought it was okay. I thought they were entertaining with something different. So they announced Hardy and Sheamus as Survivor Series. And next, the main event, the Women's Tag Team title. It's Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross defending against Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. This is after last week when Sasha beat Alexa and she basically decided to molest Alexa Bliss in that match, basically. She put her crotch in Alexa's face and yeah, check my comments for this. But we didn't get much Alexa from Sasha and we have to keep Alexa away from Sasha. You know, she, no, I shouldn't say that. She used to like, I heard that in host shows she always spanks her. I don't know what that's about. Maybe maybe that's why they don't like each other. Maybe Sasha's a little frustrated about something. So they have them beat. The faces get the upper hand for a while. Bayley's wrestling Nikki Cross for a lot. Nikki Cross, I'm happy they lost. I like Alexa. I think she's better off without Nikki. I think they've done everything they've had. They've been together for a year now. It's time to move on. Time to put Alexa back in a singles position. Not as champ, but they can do more with Alexa Bliss. Sasha and Bayley can be a team again. I don't really care to see them as champs again, but they'll eventually lose the belts. Hopefully not to the Iconics again, but how many multiple champs have you had? It started with Sasha and Bayley, then it went to Peyton Royce and Billie Kay at WrestleMania last year, then went to Alexa and Nikki, then went to the Kabuki Warriors, and they held a decent reign. They had a long reign, then went back to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross at WrestleMania, and then it went to Sasha Banks and Bayley tonight. So yeah, they've had only 4 teams as champs, 2 multiple champs. This was okay for a while. So you had Bayley and they beat up Cross, and then Bliss is on the apron. She's going to get the hot tag. She finally gets the hot tag. She runs all over Bayley. She hits Sasha with some couple rights. She attempts to twist the Bliss, but Sasha trips her up, and Bayley then gets to the top rope. She hits the belly to Bayley onto Alexa Bliss from the top rope, and then she can't hit the near fall, so she tags Sasha. Sasha hits a running knee on Alexa. Alexa kicks out. Alexa fights back. She sends Sasha face first in the turnbuckle. Nikki Cross then gives Bayley a tornado DDT on the floor, and as soon as they did that, Alexa was in the position with Sasha. She's basically like on Sasha's back for like 5 seconds, waiting to do the sunset bomb. They finally wait for the DDT, and then we go right back to Alexa hitting the sunset bomb on Sasha Banks. She must have held her in position. Sasha probably had to hold Alexa into position for like an extra 5 seconds, because you see Alexa do it and they go outside. So that was a pretty bad glitch, I noticed. But she hits it for a near fall. Sasha then she tries to make the tag, but Bayley was on the floor. She then hits the bank statement I think it's on Nikki Cross, actually. Nikki Cross. Sasha hits the banks and Bayley makes the blind tag, and Sasha can't leave the ring. Then Bayley tries to, she locks the bank save on Nikki Cross. Bliss tries to make the save, but Bayley cuts her off as Sasha holds Alexa down. Bayley cuts her off. And then Nikki tries to roll up Sasha Banks. Sasha then tags herself in the ring. I made a mistake. She gets in the big save with Nikki. And Alexa tries to desperately to make the save, but Bayley throws her out. And then what you had is Nikki tries to roll up Sasha to make something up, and then Sasha returns into a crucifix and she wins the title. This is the exact same way Sasha Banks pinned Charlotte to win the NXT Women's Championship back like 5 years ago in that Fatal 4-Way match at the 4 Horsewomen. That's how she pinned her with the crucifix. So Sasha Banks gets the win for her team. Sasha and Bayley win the women's tag team titles. Hopefully when they don't lose it, Sasha doesn't leave the company for 4 months again. I'm just kidding. But they get the belts back. Not a bad choice to put it back on them. So we'll see what they do with Sasha and Bayley. I heard their SummerSlam match is off because that's too early to do it. I hope they don't do it at WrestleMania because they won't do it. They'll do it and they'll do a multiple women's match and they'll try to build up to WrestleMania 38. That's what's going to happen. They were supposed to have a match at 34, remember? And they didn't have it. Then at 35, they're going to have a match. And they put the women's tag team belts after I had them feuding for a while. And then 36, they're 100% building to Bayley and Sasha at Mania. They do a multiple women's match. All right, 30 at SummerSlam, 100% Sasha Banks, Bayley, let's go. All right, they're going to build to WrestleMania. They're going to do it. They're not going to do it at 37. There's going to be it'll be like Sasha against Bayley against Alexa against, I don't know, some other chick or a multi-woman Mandy or some multi-woman match, and then they'll try to build Sasha and Bayley at WrestleMania 30. That's what's going to happen. They'll never have a match, but Sasha and Bayley get a belt again. Maybe they'll get a good reign this time. Alexa and Nikki, I think it's time to move on. I like Alexa. I think she's more of a single star. I think she's run her course at Nikki Cross, and that's it. We'll see what's next for these 4 women, but I think with Bayley and Sasha, they'll try to build to a match again, and Alexa and Nikki, I think it's time to move on. That's SmackDown. So not a bad show tonight. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I liked it. I might get your minds off some things. I enjoyed the show. And we have NXT TakeOver tomorrow in your house. And then in a week from Sunday is Backlash. So we have some shows to look forward to.